Better, March? I haven't heard that sound in a long time. Will you join me in our prayer of illumination? There you go. It's very interesting. As I was listening to Kim's children's message, thank you. That was wonderful. I thought she was going to go to parades, right? Think about Jesus in his context. Is that a parade? The king to overthrow Rome? Or is that something else? Maybe not a parade. Maybe what a lot of people participated in yesterday morning. Maybe it is a parade and that. Will you join me in this? Jesus of Palm Parades, be with us on the way. We wonder if we have what it takes to truly march in the name of justice and love for all people. Are we able to sacrifice the paths that benefit only us for the ones that make a way in the wilderness for others? We come seeking your courage and resolve in order to follow the way of love. Amen? Amen. Do you see the cross in amongst those palms? Slide above that. Do you see it? Have you seen it before? I really do hope and pray that you pray with, sit with the bulletin art that we have. There's almost always something in it. And I particularly love this one because God is always with us on the way. Amen? Amen. Slide 3, because that wasn't the slide I was talking about. There you go. Okay. There is a moment in every journey when you round the bend, and there it is, the destination. You're not fully arrived, but you're close enough that you can feel it. And strangely, that time, that moment holds two emotions at once. There's joy of having almost completed the journey and grief. Because you know something is ending. Something else is about to begin. A new journey. Maybe the real journey. Palm Sunday is that moment. Jesus is on the road to Jerusalem. The crowd is loud. The cloaks are on the ground. The branches are waving, and hope is rising. But underneath it all, there is tension. Because this is not just an arrival. This is a turning. This is the moment when the road forward becomes the other way. We know that feeling. That job that you prayed for and then got. That relationship that you yearned for and then it became. The healing that you longed for and then you felt. You arrive only to realize that this is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of a different one, a new one of the real journey. There's a quiet truth we don't always name. We think the destination will fix us. Ever been there? Know people who are like that, right? They keep on moving, right? Because they think this new thing is going to fix them. That if we get there, we'll finally be made whole. But pilgrimage doesn't grant wishes. It reveals them. It refines them. Sometimes it dismantles them. In the movie The Way, the pilgrims finally get to the cathedral. And on their faces, not triumph, but something deeper. Because they've discovered what they thought they needed was not what they actually needed. And that realization is both sacred and it's unsettling. The psalmist whispers into this moment, "Do not be vexed. Do not envy. Trust, delight, commit in Yahweh." And perhaps most difficult of all, be still and wait. We want action. God invites trust. We want control. God invites surrender. We want clarity. God invites stillness. Because worry does not lead us to the other way. It keeps us stuck in the old way. Again and again and again. In verse 8, it's the biblical story. Worry does not lead us to the other way. It's where we get stuck in the old way. Now look at Jesus again. He enters Jerusalem not on a war horse, but on a colt. So small that he was probably at eye level with everybody there. Not with power, but with humility. Not to conquer, but to suffer. This is the turning point. This is where Jesus chooses, not the expected way, but the other way. The way of love that does not dominate. The way of justice that does not destroy. The way of peace that refuses violence and animosity. And the crowd, they don't fully understand it. because we rarely do. When the Pharisees say, "Tell them to be quiet," Jesus responds, "If they are silent, the stones will cry out." Even creation knows. Even the ground beneath our feet knows there is something happening here that cannot be contained. And maybe that's the invitation. Not just to witness the moment, but to become part of the cry. But let's not pretend. This way is not the easy way. This way is not the easy way. Holy Week is coming, and it will lead to suffering. Not to suffering. Let me make that clear. It won't lead to suffering. It will lead through suffering. We've been through this before. We know we'll get through the other side. It does not lead to suffering. It leads through suffering. We ask, is there anything that we can do about the suffering in the world? And the honest answer is, not enough. Not quickly. Not easily. And one voice has said, some circumstances hurt so much that I cannot perceive any good they can hold. Some circumstances hurt so much that I cannot perceive any good that they can hold. And yet, Jesus walks this road anyway. Not because suffering is good, but because love refuses to abandon those who suffer. We are still living stories of exile. People displaced, violence silenced, voices hushed, dignity denied. And the quiet temptation is always the same: to stay comfortable, to say less, to risk nothing. But the songs of exile teach us something different. Do not perform for empire. Do not trade truth for approval. Do not confuse peace with silence. Amen. Because every small compromise builds another empire. And every act of courage breaks empire's spell. So here we are at the bend in the road. You are of God. I am of God. Jesus was of Joseph. You see it? We are of God. Jesus was of God. So here we are at the bend in the road, at the edge of what is next. What have we learned on the way here? What expectations have been reshaped along this journey, along your journey? What desires have been refined along your journey, along our journey? And now the deeper question. What is the other way that we are being called to? Not the loud way, not the silent way, not the easy way, not the impossible way, not the expected way, not the unexpected way. What is the other way we are being called to? The way of stillness, trust, courage, compassion, justice, love and love and love, and love that sacrifices of itself. Not that sacrifices itself. Jesus has already done that. Okay? Love that sacrifices of itself. That is the other way. Friends, a pilgrimage may reach its destination, but the wisdom of the journey always stays open to new beginnings. So today, we do not rush forward. We pause. We breathe. And we stand on a threshold, the threshold. And we listen for the still, quiet voice of God calling us not just to arrive, but to choose the way of love, the way Jesus chose, the other way. Amen? Amen.